My name is Cara and I have been a member of City United Church since 2017. My story starts about 7 years ago. My husband and I were on the verge of a divorce. We were just we both felt done with our marriage, and one day my husband said to me, "We need to go to church." And I said, "Okay. Why?" And he was like, he told a story about how his friend's daughter, there was a tragedy there, and he said that he just felt this urge to go to church. And I said, okay. So we went up to New Hampshire to a church, and I was not impressed with the preaching. I was very kind of skeptical of the whole thing. I had grown up in church, at a Catholic church, so I just wasn't really sure what I was looking for. And so I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And he said, fine. During that same time, we were having solar panels put on to our house, and the guy who was installing them had a conversation with my husband and said, I go to this church. Back then it was Twin City Baptist, and we needed to go. So my husband goes, Cara, we're going to church. And I said, well, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go. I want you to tell me how it is when, I didn't like the last one, so why don't you go? So he came back after that Sunday and he goes, Cara, we need to go to this church. This is where we belong. The music is great. It has a wonderful kids program, all of these things. He listed all of these things. And so I said, all right. So the following Sunday, I showed up and I had a woman approach me, and she knew my name because she had talked to John the week before, and he said, my wife Cara is gonna come next week. And so she knew my name. And I said, okay, like they know me. I was happy. I felt this sense of peace when I walked in, and community. So I dropped the kids off downstairs. It was awesome. The murals and the music for them, my kids had a great time. Fast forward about 3 weeks later, I had not accepted Jesus as my Savior yet, but I had heard the gospel message over and over. But this particular Sunday, it was a nightmare getting ready for church. I had to do it by myself because my husband was playing a softball game for his company, and I had to do it all by myself. I had to get the kids ready. I spilled coffee all over the floor. Nobody was getting dressed. I was running late. Everybody was against me at that point. And I said, I'm still going to church. So I had come in, dropped the kids off at church, and I sat down in the pew, and I just cried. I just had this sense of surrender. And it wasn't until the end of service that I had surrendered and submitted my life to Christ. And I said, I can't do this on my own. I need you, Lord, to come into my life and to help me and be there. And that's where I met Jesus that day. And it did help that the pastor was wearing a shirt that said, dinosaurs are Jesus ponies. It was awesome. It was perfect. So fast forward now, I am, serving on the worship team. I love to sing. I love to set the environment for people to be able to worship authentically, and to also be able to worship authentically myself. Jesus is a big part of our family. My children are homeschooled, and they go to a Christian online school. So they're getting Jesus every day, and I want to make sure that that's instilled with them for their life.